So there's something else that I'm absolutely loving about this place right now, and about this camera that I'm using. So the camera is an action camera, and so it's waterproof, and it's got slow motion. It's got wonderful slow motion. And oh my God, it's so cool. I'm just holding the camera underwater and letting it kind of flow with the current, and trying not to hit rocks with it and stuff, and trying to get smooth shots. But the combination of the underwater shot with the slow motion makes the footage so amazingly epic and gorgeous, and it tickles me so much. And so I could play here for hours, and I know my family probably wants to hit the road soon, but I could be here all day getting these fun underwater shots. And I keep chasing the perfect shot where I'm like trying to put the camera in just right where it flows down with the current, and I don't hit any rocks, and I get just the right amount of above water and below water and the bubbles, and I love it. It's so cool. It's so fun. And it's it's just such an amazing window into that other world of the below water. And then the slow motion makes it just mwah. So as I'm watching this footage, I'm on my computer and trying to edit the video, and it's giving me time to think about what about it is so moving for me. And well, what it comes down to is this really just takes me back to my childhood, and some of my first experiences with digital cameras, and being able to explore and experiment and just play with it, and be surprised and be delighted, and then combining that with this total fascination with being underwater. And how when I was a kid I used to just put on a mask and snorkel and be underwater for what seemed like hours, and there was really just no end to my interest in it. And actually one of my favorite memories was being at this little river by the house where I grew up, and being in the water with my mask and snorkel for so long and getting so cold, and then taking a break from being underwater just to warm up. And I would go on the rocks next to the water, and I would pile warm rocks on my body just to warm myself up again. So I'd be laying on the ground with rocks all over my body just to warm up, and then I could get back in then for another hour of exploring. And how I just didn't want to leave, and the visual delight of being underwater and letting it really just fill my senses. And I think that's where my origins of being able to appreciate visual beauty came from. It was just being underwater. And then once digital cameras came around, and I could really get experimental and get creative with trying to share what I was seeing in person. I think that's why this activity really just hit home for me, and showed me a really good way of connecting with connecting with my authentic self, and just doing something for sheer joy and delight. And so that means a lot to me to be able to experience that in adulthood and reconnect with it, and see that I can still relate to my environment and relate to my own senses in a way that is really joyful. It just makes me so happy. I'm grateful. I'm thankful, and I'm glad I get to share it. I get to play around like this, get these shots. And now I'm even kind of dreading winter now, because all the water is going to get all cloudy, and it's not going to not going to be good for getting footage like this. This is, I think, more of a summertime related thing, but oh well, that's just the way it goes. I'll have to bide my time until next summer. But this, this all comes back to me trying to be a better version of myself, and part of that isn't so much changing who I am. It's about being who I was before I started layering on crap that I don't like. Because I want to be more like this, and I want to see the world more like this, with these eyes, the eyes that I had on this day. That's how I want every day to be. So I've been working on how do I peel off layers that I'm not into, that I'm not okay with, and spend more time as my authentic, genuine self that is more playful, more creative, more present, more appreciative of beauty, and wanting to share, and all of those things that are just so important to me. God, I just love, I'm watching the shots now, at the same time you are, and they tickle me. Yeah, look at how those bubbles were just chasing the lens there. I can't get enough. I really can't. And this is one of those times where I'm really grateful for the technology that lets this kind of exploration happen. And like I was saying, with my early explorations with digital cameras, it was just so magical. It was a whole world, and my parents were very supportive of that, and they got me. My mom especially was responsible for putting cameras in my hands and making sure I had that freedom to explore it. And I would just spend hours outside getting creative shots and seeing the world in a new way, and then sharing what I found and seeing the delight in other people's eyes when they saw what I was seeing. And that was just so cool to be able to share those, and that's what I like about this. So, fun stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching.